How you doing once again? And welcome to another installment of Objectively Biased with me, your host, the Objective One, Steve Fognick. Now, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we're going to do everything green this week. And since I'm biased, it's going to be East Coast green. It's going to be the Boston Celtics, it's going to be the New York Jets, and my team right there, Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I know you're probably watching March Madness right now, tournament, and getting all involved. Trust me, we're going to do that. I will cover that in detail once the smoke clears from the first two rounds. But right now, we're going to bring it to St. Patty's. We're going to bring it home to where you see Shamrock Green. We're going to bring it to the Boston Celtics. And for you Celtics fan out there, you've got something to cheer about. You got Isaiah Thomas, 5.9 point guard, averaging 22 points a game, 6.5 assists per game. 12th in scoring, 9th in assists. You got a team right now that's 5th in the Eastern Conference with a 39-29 record and looking to move up. My question to you is, do you feel you've got a team that can compete for the Eastern Conference this season? I hear the yeses. No, I do. No. Now, I can understand why you want to say yes. Got a very good young team. You got a team that's in the top 5 in scoring, top 8 in rebounding, and surprisingly, the 3rd best team in the league in assist-to-turnover ratio. And while that's all good, you don't have that star prowess yet. Isaiah Thomas, he's on the verge of becoming that star. The rest of the team, still young, very young team. Young coach and Brad Stevens, he's doing a great job. But again, young coach, young team. You guys will make, I guess, an interesting playoff opponent this season. But if I'm a Boston fan, I'm looking towards the next 2 or 3 seasons. I'm looking to watch guys like Jared Sullinger and Jay Crowder and Marcus Smart grow with Isaiah Thomas on that team. I'm looking to see what Brad Stevens can do, and if he can do what he did when he was the coach over at Butler. Like, this is going to be real interesting if you're a Boston Celtics fan. The next couple of years are going to be very exciting for you guys. But more importantly, I think the question should be not whether or not the Celtics can actually do something. The fun question, since Doc Rivers bolted on you guys, who gets to the champion? Who wins their conference first? Do the Clippers win under Doc Rivers first? Or does Brad Stevens and the Celtics actually steal one? I'm rooting for it, and I believe Brad Stevens will have the Celtics in the NBA Finals before Doc Rivers gets the Clippers there. That's just me. We close this one out. On to the next one. Now, we move on to the New York Jets. Another team in green, gangrene, real ugly. Ugly. Gangrene. How do you like that nickname, gangrene? If you're a Jets fan, it's gotta be disgusting. Let's get off of that. This is disgusting. Darrelle Revis is out 2 to 3 months. As if it couldn't get any worse, you guys can't find a quarterback. Because the Harvard grad doesn't want to be your quarterback for anything less than $18 million. Partly my team's fault, because we paid Sam Bradford $26 million guaranteed. We'll get to that later. But his numbers, Ryan Fitzpatrick's numbers, are just, they're pedestrian. I can understand why the Jets don't want to pay him. Here's the issue the Jets have. They've got Brandon Marshall. He's not getting any younger. Eric Decker, suitable number 2 wide receiver. You brought in Matt Forte. Nice compliment. He'll be able to help out, I guess, Bilal Powell, if that's who you're going to groom to be your next starting running back. You don't have much more coming out of Forte. So you're in a win-now situation. and you don't have a quarterback. You're going to be rebuilding through the draft. Hopefully rebuilding around Bryce Petty. But all the pieces that you're bringing in right now are to win now. So my question is, Jets fans, do you really believe you can win now? I know the answer to that. You just got to come around to it. No, you're not going to win now. Even if you get Ryan Fitzpatrick back, this guy's going into his 11th season. 31 touchdowns, 15 picks, his best season out of those 11 seasons, and that was last year, with Brandon Marshall coming to the twilight of his career. What do you think you're going to get out of Fitzpatrick if you do sign him? Not much. Pedestrian at best. And the teams in your division? Well, Buffalo took a step back so far. Miami got pretty good. Do you see what New England did? You think you're going to beat them, even if you have Fitzpatrick at quarterback? No. Best bet for the Jets right now, rebuild. And how you're going to do that? You're going to do it through the draft. Unfortunately, you're picking 20th. Good news is, there's actually some pretty good players that are going to be circling that draft around that 20th spot. You got someone like Noah Spence, nice edge rusher. You guys are going to need an edge rusher. You got Taylor Decker from Ohio State, offensive lineman. You guys need some help there. It's something that you could solidify to protect whatever quarterback you got coming. But if you're going to grow Bryce Petty into it, that'd be a guy you want watching his blind side. And then you've got, on the defensive side of the ball again, Leonard Floyd from Georgia and Darren Lee, linebacker from Ohio State. Again, needs that you have to fill. Problem is, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but you put yourself in a position to win now, and you do not have a win now team. Hell, you might not make the playoffs again. And I know that's heartbreaking and hurtful, but that's a reality. This team is not any better or any worse with or without Fitzpatrick than what they were last year. I don't believe Bryce Petty's ready to take over, so you may have to spend the money to get Fitzpatrick, unless no one else grabbed him. At this point, no one's fishing for a guy who's been, the equivalent of Trent Dilfer. But you're going to need someone to come in there and fill those voids on the offensive side of the ball, someone that groomed Bryce Petty. And when Brandon Marshall goes, who's going to be your receiver? Not Decker. So I think the question for the Jets fans is going to be, how do you feel about your team going forward? What do you think you're going to accomplish this year, with or without Fitzpatrick? And did you waste money on getting Forte? I think those are bigger questions for the Jets to ask right now and ask themselves. And on that note, we'll wrap it up with the Jets, because there's not that much to talk about. And like this paper, they're going in the trash. And we're going to jump on my team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Wait. Because if I'm going to get on the Jets, good God, I'm going to have to get on my team. $26 million guaranteed dollars to Sam Bradford. I understand that with the cash surplus that was created through the CBA, a lot of average players are going to get overpaid. And on one end, I'm going, did we have to overpay the guy who breaks something every time you breathe on him? But on the other end, who the hell else was out there? RG3? The guy didn't even play last year. Not only is he frail, but he's a head case. So I understand Philadelphia paying for Bradford. Now you guys better pay to protect his ass. And they did just that in free agency so far this year. I'm actually impressed. They went out, they got Brandon Brooks, guard from Houston, which is a nice pickup. Shore up that offensive line. He's a good run blocker as well. You traded away DeMarco Murray, so I hope we're not banking on Ryan Matthews. We got rid of Kiko Alonso. We got rid of Byron Maxwell. Large contracts, brought in good players. Now, I don't think Maxwell or Alonso got their just due, but I think this was more of a move by Philadelphia to rid themselves of Chip Kelly completely. Which is why I don't understand why they kept Bradford if you wanted to rid yourself from Chip Kelly. But they got draft picks in return. And they added key players. Like I said, with the offensive line, Brandon Brooks. Rodney McLeod, free safety from the Rams. They brought him in. That's a nice compliment to Michael Jenkins at the strong safety position. Here's why. I'm a firm believer that the cornerback position in the NFL is overrated. Unless you have a Darrelle Revis in his prime. Okay, Jets fans? In his prime. You don't need a lockdown corner. They're useless. Ask Richard Sherman. He's a very good cornerback. But if he doesn't have Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas behind him, do you think he's really doing what he's doing? Let's be real. Some of the best corners in the game right now have great safeties behind them. Trust and believe that. Look at the numbers. So they went out, they grabbed Ron Brooks, a cornerback from Buffalo. Good cornerback. Is he Maxwell? No, but he's good. And if you've got guys like McLeod and Jenkins behind them, it's a win-win. It's a win-win for Philadelphia. Where they're going to have to lock it down the most is in the draft. They've got two real needs that they have to fill. They've got to get a complimentary piece to Jordan Matthews. We need a wide receiver. Nelson Aguilar isn't it. And unfortunately, Chip Kelly pissed away Jeremy Maclin. So we've got nothing except Jordan Matthews. Hopefully, Peterson, the same way he incorporated Travis Kelce and Maclin at Kansas City, he'll do the same with Matthews and Zach Ertz. But you still need that other receiving option. We also need O-line help. And a quarterback for the future. Right now, we don't have one. And in the draft, moving up to the 8th pick with that trade with Miami, I'm a little concerned. They may go with Paxton Lynch. I like him as a quarterback. He's good, but is he the answer? Jack Conklin. Good offensive tackle. We need that. We definitely need that. But is that what they're going to do? And then Zeke Elliott, again. The running back position, I like Ryan Matthews. He can suffice for the time being, but can he stay healthy? And in the Peterson run offense, you need someone like Jamal Charles or Charkandrick West, the way they play. Very versatile running backs. Ryan Matthews is a versatile running back. Again, health is a concern, which is why I understand why they got rid of Murray. He's not that versatile. Zeke Elliott is versatile. But I don't know what they're going to do. And quite frankly, looking at it, I can't call it. I will say this. As an Eagles fan, to my Eagles fans out there, throw the season away. It's garbage. We're done. 3rd, 4th in the division. We're not winning anything. We can only hope to get better through the draft over the course of the next couple of years. Because there's nothing to win right now. Dallas and the Giants, they both have better teams. Sucks to say, hurts me to say, but it's the truth. And with that being said, that leads me to my objective thought. And my objective thought is green, but a different kind of green. It's money green, but not the way you would think. About 2 weeks ago, at the Ernie Els for Autism Classic, Ricky Fowler hit a hole-in-one that won a donation of $1 million to Ernie Els' foundation for autism. And the embrace that the 6'3" or 6'4" Ernie Els put on the much smaller Ricky Fowler was one of just pure joy. And it brings me back to, that's why we watch sports. That's why we love sports. That's why we played it. That's why we want our children to play it. For the joy and the love of the game. And we've lost that. We've lost that as fans. Players have lost that in this day and age. It's all about branding and where's my next commercial or what's my next act. Everything but the sport. And I think we need to look and highlight. We need to share and tag and show more of what we saw 2 weeks ago at that Ernie Els Classic. Just that moment between he and Ricky Fowler. Because it means that much to people. Ernie Els' son was diagnosed with autism. If you don't think that $1 million meant the world to him, you're crazy. Take a look back, look at the article. ESPN had it, CBS, Fox. Read it. Look at the picture. Remember it. Because it's the way we all used to look at sports. And it's the way we all should look at sports and life in general. Thank you for watching another installment of Objectively Biased with me, your host, Steve Fogmeg. Again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Steve Fogmeg. And follow me on my Instagram at @S_Fogmeg. Thank you.